on.
That's Saquon Barkley, of course, from the other day, and then the Coach Nick Sirianni, talking about or not being the Coach of the Year candidate. Joining us now is the play-by-play voice of the Philadelphia Eagles. He's been there since I was born, just hanging out in South Jersey. Merrill Reese joins us here on ESPN 620 with Rock and Minuch. Merrill, Rock, along with Minuch, as always, man, thank you. You make my day every time you come on. It's a treat for me. I appreciate you making some time for us.
Happy to do it.
So let me ask you, let me start with Sirianni. I'm a big fan. I thought he got snubbed as not being one of the Coach of the Years. Would you agree that he should have been in that, up there with the Campbells and Paytons?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. But usually they look for a coach who has taken a team from bottom to top. Now, they finished poorly last year, losing 5 of the last 6 games, and then came around this year and went 14-3, and it could have been even better. But they did a great job. But they're usually looking for a coach like Dan Quinn, who took a 4-win team last year, and here they are in the NFC Championship game. Or look what Peyton has done in Denver with the new quarterback, Bo Nix. So that's what they're really looking for when they look for the Coach of the Year. But certainly Nick has done as good a job as anybody.
To me, it's similar to Ryan Day with Ohio State. He got a lot of heat during the season. Of course, losing to Michigan wasn't good, but there he is. He turns it, he keeps it going. He said all the right things, and they win the national championship. I feel, as an Eagle fan, I think a lot of people would agree, he's going down that same road. He doesn't get the respect, but here he is getting ready to play, possibly in the Super Bowl.
But you know what? He doesn't care about that stuff. All he cares about is winning the Super Bowl. That's it. Nick really focuses on the team and getting ready for this game. I don't think he even blinks at something like that. He really doesn't care. It's all about the team.
And when you look at this team, what is it about this team this year versus the last couple of years? As you mentioned, Merrill, they fell short last year. Things somewhat fell apart. What did he do in the offseason to resurrect maybe confidence in him or confidence in his quarterback, or just kind of wash that out and get things back on track?
Well, I can just name 2 names when you're talking about the biggest difference in this team from last year. One is Saquon Barkley, who has really, really put this offense on the map with a 2,000-yard rushing year, changed the offense dramatically. And number 2 is Vic Fangio. Vic Fangio is a great defensive coordinator.
I would agree. Would you throw in how now the 2 Georgia boys and Jaden Carter and Nolan Smith and what they've been able to do? Those guys have been fantastic.
Well, a lot of it has to do with Vic Fangio. Fangio put them in position to make plays. You always hear coaches say, we have to put players in the position to make plays. And it's become a cliche, but he really did. I mean, he took a free agent who was expected to be a special teamer and an outside linebacker from time to time by the name of Zach Vaughn, and he put him inside. He felt he belonged in the middle, and here he is, Zach Vaughn, first-team All-Pro, and he's been phenomenal. And he did the same thing with other players. He did it with Nolan Smith, who some people were saying was a bust at the end of the first round. And what Vic said he's getting better every week. This kid is getting better. He's a good football player. And right now he has been making key plays every single game.
And I know, Merrill, you talked about Saquon Barkley, that Jalen Hurts doesn't have to be the hero every week, or like it was a few short years ago when you guys went to the Super Bowl. But to me, he just seems under control. He's making good decisions, banged up a little bit here and there, but it seems as though he's content that he doesn't have to hit a home run every time he throws the ball.
He does what he has to do. He does what the game plan and what the defense dictates. And he has been unbelievable protecting the football.
Yeah.
After the first 4 games of this season, right prior to the bye, I think the Eagles were a minus six in turnover differential. And when the season ended, they were plus 11. That tells you what Jalen Hurts has done from that 4th game on.
And it's amazing, too, Merrill, that the team could still have success with him not even have to throw for 150 yards or more. I think he's 4-0 in the playoffs when he's under 150. But I think that's amazing what they've been able to do. It's just clearly – I do want to ask you a follow-up on that is the tight end position and how you expect if Dallas Goedert's going to if he's going to go. I know he has a practice this week, but I think that he's been such a big difference in there for blocking, especially this helping Saquon Barkley.
Well, he's both. He is great. He's both a great blocker and a great receiving tight end. And Goddard has missed his share of games this year, but I think he'll be fine for Sunday. And when healthy, he is one of the best tight ends in football.
Do you expect anyone else? Like, I know they said Cam Jurgens is kind of on the fence right now. Do you expect him to be a go? I know he's had to fill some pretty big shoes there in Philly.
I can't say too much about injuries because you can only tell what they say to you at the end of the day. This guy was limited. This guy is full. This guy's out. But I would expect that Cam Jurgens is. I'd be surprised if Cam Jurgens isn't in there. He was at practice today.
I can imagine, Merrill, at this point in the season, the NFC Championship game, all hands will be on deck. The one thing you talk about Fangio and you talk about this team, it looks like the moves in the offseason, obviously Saquon Barkley, but the depth that was added on both sides of the football seemed to really stand out. When you get to look at some of the things that they've done, but it seems like the depth was added. That was a little bit of an Achilles heel last year. Has that also been a key as far as guys filling in when the others are injured?
Yeah. I mean, you talk about Grant Calcaterra, who came in when Dallas Goedert was out, and he did a very, very good job. And then you talk about Tyler Steen, who has come in at times playing either guard or tackle, and he's a very good football player. And they have depth in the secondary. There's first of all, these two rookies have been amazing. Quinyon Mitchell and Cooper DeJean, they've been unbelievable. But last year with a pinched nerve or whatever it was, Quinyon Mitchell went out, and then came Isaiah Rodgers, who they had picked up in the offseason, and he's a guy who could start for a lot of football teams. And I don't want to say he's quite as gifted as Quinyon Mitchell, but he certainly is very, very good.
Merrill, listening to WIP all week, it sounds like the fan base is pretty confident with this game. And as an Eagles fan, it's hard to be confident all the time. But with this roster, from top to bottom, A to Z, clearly on paper, if they just play their game, they shouldn't have a problem in this. Do you agree?
No.
No. You've been there long enough. Yeah.
No. I showed up in 2002 and was told that Tampa Bay could never win if they're playing in temperatures that are in the 30s, and went home very, very sad.
2 minutes.
Because on that day, Donovan McNabb's favorite target was Rondé Barber. So, I've seen too much over the years, guys.
Yeah. All right.
I've watched this rookie, Jaden Daniels, and he is just unbelievable. The plays he made, the way he took them back at the end of that Tampa Bay game, the way in the last Eagles-Washington game, he went bing, bang, boom, touchdown, Jamison Crowder. So I know better than to go say, well, it should be the Eagles. They play well. It's all over. No, Washington is playing really, really well. Now, do I think the Eagles are going to win? Yes. I think they're the better team. I think they're the more experienced team, the more complete roster. But this is a tremendously exciting and efficient Washington team. So even though I may think the Eagles have the edge, I'm experienced enough to believe that this game could go either way.
Mel, you've been broadcasting for many, many years, and to watch a guy like Saquon Barkley,
to be exact.
Yeah. Wow, you're on it. When you watch, we knew that Saquon Barkley was fast, but I mean, he must have found another gear in the offseason. Is he one of the fastest running backs you've ever seen in the National Football League once he gets around the corner?
Yeah, he is. And he doesn't look like he'd be the fastest because he's not one of these slender guys. I mean, he's built so solidly and muscularly, but he takes off and nobody catches.
Good to wrap after this.
He's just a great, great player. But the reason you didn't see that before in his 5 years in New York is because he didn't have an offensive line like this. He didn't run the daylight because there was no daylight. Here he finds a gap and off he goes. And another big part of that is when Jalen Hurts lines up, you better play this team plus as having a +1 in the backfield. he has to be accounted for. So you can run a lot of things off of that.
Last one, Merrill. Did you get yourself some memorabilia? Did you get some, some snow? Did you get a little snow? I know you guys are selling pints of snow. Did you get your share? I know it's sold out.
Yeah, they did. They packaged snow from the game. One of our neighbors was, and they were selling it for $50. One of our neighbors was selling snow for $20 a box and $10 if you wanted yellow snow.
Thank you, Frank Zappa.
Yes, that's good stuff. Merrill, I'll be listening out here in Phoenix, so thanks so much, buddy. Appreciate you, man, always. Thanks for the time.
Thank you, guys. Always fun being on with you.
That's Merrill Reese, of course, by the way, the recipient, 2024 recipient of Pete Rozelle Radio and Television Award. That's one of the best awards you can win in the industry. We appreciate Merrill Reese for some time here on ESPN 620 and Rock and Manooch. All right, up next, we will take the fifth caller at 602-230-0620 to challenge the counselor, Kevin Rowe, for our over-under challenge. And for a big-time Lerner & Rowe swag bag, which I think it's valued over $100, $150. And all you have to do is we're going to do total amount of rushing yards combined for the two quarterbacks in the NFC game. We're going to talk about the tight ends in the AFC game. And we will do an over-under on Saquon Barkley and the winner score of that Eagles-Commanders game. So fifth caller, 602-230-0620. That's the phone number. And fifth caller, and you're playing with us next. ESPN 620.